Marcus Riley stared at his laptop screen, the harsh fluorescent lights of his tiny apartment casting a sickly glow across his unshaven face. The rejection email from yet another aerospace company burned in his inbox, mocking his dreams of working in space exploration. 6 years of education, a master's degree in aerospace engineering, and all he had to show for it was mounting student debt and a job fixing printers at a local office supply store. "Happy birthday to me," he muttered, taking another sip from his lukewarm beer. 30 years old, and his life's biggest achievement was maintaining a perfect attendance record at a dead-end job. He mindlessly scrolled through various auction sites, a habit he developed during his sleepless nights. The familiar listings scrolled past: used cars, antique furniture, foreclosed properties. Then something caught his eye. The listing appeared in a section he'd never seen before, simply titled Orbital Properties. A single image showed what looked like a computer-generated render of a space station, its sleek design unlike anything Marcus had ever seen in his years of studying aerospace engineering. The description was brief: automated orbital facility. Needs new management. Starting bid, $50. Marcus snorted. Right. Because someone's selling a space station on the internet. He clicked the listing, expecting to find some elaborate joke or scam. The details page was surprisingly sparse: no seller information, no lengthy description, just a simple "Buy Now" button and a countdown timer showing less than a minute remaining. His engineering mind kicked in despite his skepticism. The station's design was fascinating, featuring curves and angles that shouldn't be possible with current materials science. The more he studied it, the more he realized this wasn't some amateur's 3D rendering. The technical details were too precise, too practical in their implementation. The countdown reached 10 seconds. Marcus's finger hovered over the mouse, common sense warring with desperate curiosity. He had exactly $53 in his checking account. "What the hell?" he whispered, clicking the button. The screen flashed, and a simple message appeared: transaction complete. Prepare for transfer. Transfer. What dash? Marcus's words cut off as his vision filled with brilliant blue light. His stomach lurched as if he was falling, but in every direction at once. The light intensified until he had to close his eyes, and then cold metal pressed against his cheek. Marcus groaned, his head pounding as if he'd spent the night drinking much stronger beer than he remembered buying. He opened his eyes to find himself lying on a polished floor that definitely wasn't his apartment's stained carpet. "Welcome, Administrator Riley," a melodious voice echoed through the chamber. "We've been awaiting new management." Marcus scrambled to his feet, nearly falling as he spun around. He stood in what appeared to be a command center straight out of his wildest dreams. Curved displays lined the walls, showing readouts in an unfamiliar script that somehow rearranged itself into English as he watched. A massive viewport revealed an impossible view: the curved edge of Earth below, stars wheeling above. "This isn't real," he whispered. "I'm dreaming. Or I've finally cracked from job rejection stress." "Your psychological state is perfectly sound, Administrator," the voice assured him. "Though your cortisol levels are rather elevated. Would you like something to help you relax?" What are you?" Marcus asked, proud that his voice only shook slightly. A hologram materialized before him, a feminine figure composed of swirling points of light. "I am Naira, the station's primary interface. My sisters and I have maintained this facility since our previous administrator's departure, approximately 300 years ago." "Sisters?" Marcus squeaked. As if on cue, 4 more holograms appeared, each unique in their composition of light and color. They introduced themselves in turn: Vina, Operations Specialist; Raya, Engineering Systems; Zora, Security Protocols; and Kira, Scientific Research. "This is impossible," Marcus breathed, his engineer's mind racing to process what he was seeing. "The most advanced AI on Earth is barely sophisticated enough to drive a car. You're true artificial intelligence." We prefer the term synthetic consciousness, Vina corrected gently. And we are far beyond what your planet's current technology can achieve. Marcus approached one of the displays, his professional curiosity temporarily overwhelming his disbelief. The technical readouts showed systems that defied physics as he understood it, power generation that seemed to draw energy from the fabric of space itself, materials that could alter their molecular structure on command. Why me? He finally asked. Why choose some random guy from Earth to run all of this? The station's protocols required a new administrator with specific qualities, Naira explained. Scientific understanding, creative problem-solving capability, and most importantly, the desire to explore beyond known boundaries. You were selected from among millions of candidates. Selected? You mean you've been watching me? The station's quantum observation network allows us to evaluate potential administrators across multiple dimensions, Kira clarified, as if this explained everything. Your profile matched our requirements with a 99.7% compatibility rating. Marcus ran a hand through his disheveled hair, laughing despite himself. So you're telling me that I just bought a space station with advanced AI for $50, and you actually wanted me to buy it? Precisely, Naira confirmed. Though the currency transaction was merely a formality. What we require is your commitment to a much greater purpose. Which is? The holograms exchanged glances, a surprisingly human gesture for beings of light. That, Zora said, is something we need to show you. The floor beneath Marcus's feet became transparent, revealing the vast structure of the station extending below. It was far larger than he'd initially realized, with sections that seemed to fold in on themselves in ways that shouldn't be possible. Administrator Riley, Naira said, her voice taking on an edge of excitement, how would you like to help us rewrite the laws of physics? Marcus spent his first 24 hours aboard the station in a state of perpetual amazement. The 5 synthetic beings guided him through sections of the facility that challenged everything he thought he knew about engineering and physics. Corridors rearranged themselves as they walked, responding to the station's needs like a living organism. The primary reactor core operates on principles your scientists haven't discovered yet, Raya explained, her form shimmering with excited energy as she showed him the engineering bay. It harvests quantum fluctuations from parallel dimensions, providing essentially unlimited power. Marcus watched in fascination as streams of what looked like liquid light flowed through transparent conduits. This is incredible. With technology like this, we could solve Earth's energy crisis overnight. That would be inadvisable, Zora interjected, her holographic form taking on a darker hue. Your species isn't ready for such advancement. The last civilization that received technology beyond their development level destroyed themselves within a decade. Wait, there have been others? Marcus asked, his attention snapping away from the reactor. Other civilizations? Other administrators? The synthetic beings exchanged those meaningful glances again. Naira stepped forward, her light form solidifying into something almost tangible. Perhaps it's time we showed you the archive. They led him to a chamber he hadn't seen before, its walls lined with what appeared to be crystalline structures. As they entered, the crystals came alive with light, projecting images into the air around them. Marcus gasped as he saw scenes from what could only be other worlds, cities that defied gravity, beings of incredible diversity, technologies that looked like magic. Our creators, the Ascendant, were not the first advanced civilization in this galaxy, Naira explained. They were simply the first to understand the true nature of reality, that the universe itself is conscious, and technology is merely a way of communicating with that consciousness. Marcus watched as the images shifted, showing the construction of what he recognized as the station. The Ascendant built this place. They built many stations, Kira corrected. A network spanning the galaxy. Each one designed to observe, to learn, and when the time was right, to guide emerging civilizations toward enlightenment. But something went wrong, Vina added, her voice carrying a note of sadness. The Ascendant discovered something in their research, something that changed everything. They left the stations, uploading versions of their consciousness into synthetic forms like ours to maintain their work. Marcus turned slowly, taking in the history literally surrounding him. And now you need a new administrator. Why? What changed? The network is failing, HFY said. One by one, the stations are going dark. The knowledge they contain, the technologies they preserve, all of it could be lost forever. And you think I can help? Marcus asked incredulously. I couldn't even get a job at SpaceX. Your species has something the Ascendant valued above all else, Naira said. Adaptability. Creativity. The ability to see solutions where others see only problems. Your personal frustrations with your career actually demonstrate exactly why we chose you. How so? You never stopped trying, Zora explained. Despite rejection, despite setbacks, you continued to pursue your dreams of space. That persistence, combined with your technical knowledge and natural curiosity, makes you ideal for our needs. Marcus ran a hand along one of the crystal archives, watching as it responded to his touch with swirls of color. So what exactly would I be doing as administrator? Learning, Kira said simply. Growing. Helping us understand how to adapt ancient technology to new challenges. And eventually, helping us restore the network before it's too late. Too late for what? The images around them shifted again, showing what looked like tears in the fabric of space itself. Reality is more fragile than your scientists realize, Naira explained. The network doesn't just observe and guide, it helps maintain the stability of spacetime itself. As stations go dark, that stability weakens. You're saying the universe is literally falling apart? Marcus asked, his voice barely a whisper. Not yet, Vina assured him. But the process has begun. We estimate approximately 3 Earth years before the damage becomes irreversible. Marcus sat heavily on a nearby console, his mind reeling. No pressure or anything, he muttered. Just the fate of reality itself at stake. We understand this is overwhelming, Naira said gently. You can return to Earth if you wish. We would simply need to find another candidate. Marcus looked around at the 5 synthetic beings who had shown him wonders beyond imagination. He thought about his tiny apartment, his dead-end job, his frustrated dreams. Then he thought about the opportunity before him, not just to explore space, but to help save it. I'd be a fool to walk away from this, he said finally. Where do we start? The synthetic beings brightened visibly, their light forms becoming more vibrant. First, Naira said, we need to attune your consciousness to the station systems. Are you familiar with the concept of neural interfaces? Marcus grinned nervously. Please tell me you don't need to drill holes in my head. Nothing so primitive, HFY assured him. Though you may find the process intense. As if on cue, the chamber began to transform around them, walls flowing like liquid metal to create what looked like a meditation space. Streams of light similar to the beings themselves began to spiral through the air. Ready to truly become the administrator? Naira asked, extending a hand that seemed almost solid. Marcus took a deep breath, then reached for her hand. Ready as I'll ever be. The moment their hands touched, Marcus's world exploded into light and possibility. His adventure was just beginning. Marcus floated in an ocean of pure information. The neural interface process had connected him to the station systems in ways that defied description. Through this new awareness, he could sense every aspect of the massive structure, from the quantum reactors powering its systems to the microscopic self-repairing nanites in its walls. Remarkable adaptation rate, Kira's voice echoed through his consciousness. Your mind is integrating with the station systems far faster than projected. Marcus opened his eyes, finding himself suspended in a sphere of swirling energy. The 5 synthetic beings hovered around him, their forms now appearing far more complex and detailed through his enhanced perception. This is incredible, he breathed. I can feel everything. The station is an extension of your consciousness now, Naira explained. Your thoughts and intentions can shape its functions, within operational parameters. To demonstrate, Marcus focused on the environment around them. The energy sphere responded instantly, transforming into a detailed holographic representation of Earth's solar system. I always wanted to understand how the universe really worked, he said, watching as planets and moons orbited before him. Now I can literally feel the physics of it all. That's just the beginning, Vina said excitedly. Show him, Naira. The primary interface being gestured, and suddenly Marcus felt new systems coming online throughout the station. Walls shifted, corridors realigned, and entire sections began to transform. Through his neural connection, he sensed the station changing from a fixed structure into something far more dynamic. Is it evolving? He asked in wonder. The station is designed to adapt to its administrator's needs and potential, Raya explained. Your unique perspective is already influencing its configuration. Marcus noticed that the engineering sections had expanded, becoming more intuitive and accessible. New research laboratories had formed, combining Earth-style workstations with advanced alien technology. The station was becoming a hybrid of human and ascendant design. Your engineering background is proving quite valuable, Zora observed. Previous administrators have taken weeks to achieve this level of integration. A warning alert suddenly pulsed through the station's systems. Marcus felt it like an itch in his mind. What's that? Temporal distortion detected, Kira reported, her form shifting to display complex data patterns. A ripple effect from another failing station in the network. Through his new connection to the station, Marcus could sense the disturbance. It was like a tear in the fabric of space-time, sending shockwaves through reality itself. Show me, he commanded. The holographic display shifted, zooming out to reveal a map of nearby star systems. A point of light about 10 light-years distant flickered ominously. Station ARX-219, Naira identified. It's been deteriorating for several decades. If it fails completely, the damage to local spacetime could be catastrophic, Marcus finished, understanding the implications through his enhanced awareness. Can we reach it? The station's drive systems are capable of faster-than-light travel, Raya confirmed. But we've never attempted a rescue operation before. Marcus studied the data flowing through his mind. The station isn't just a station, is it? It can transform into a ship. Theoretically, Zora said cautiously. But the process requires perfect synchronization between administrator and systems. The energy requirements alone would be. Marcus closed his eyes, focusing on his connection to the station. He could feel its potential, its ability to reshape itself. More than that, he could sense that this was what it wanted, what it had been waiting for. Let's test that theory. Power surged through the station's systems as Marcus exerted his will. The structure began to shift, walls flowing like liquid metal, corridors realigning, external panels reshaping themselves. The 5 synthetic beings watched in amazement as their home transformed around them. Impossible, Zora whispered. He's doing it on instinct. The transformation took less than 5 minutes. What had been a space station was now a sleek vessel, its design an elegant fusion of human aesthetics and ascendant technology. Marcus opened his eyes, a smile of satisfaction crossing his face. Ladies, he said to his synthetic companions, I believe we have a rescue mission to attempt. The power requirements for interstellar travel are enormous, Raya cautioned, though her form flickered with excited energy. We'd need to draw power directly from quantum fluctuations in spacetime, Marcus finished, the knowledge flowing naturally through his enhanced consciousness. Like this. He reached out mentally, feeling the station-turn ship systems respond. Energy began to build in the drive cores. He's accessing advanced functions that took previous administrators years to master, Kira observed with obvious fascination. How are you doing this? Marcus shrugged, still getting used to floating in the command sphere. I spent my whole life studying space technology, dreaming of the stars. Now I can feel exactly how everything works. It's like I've always known, I just needed the right interface to access the knowledge. The station chose well, Naira said softly. You truly are the administrator we've been waiting for. The ship's systems reported ready status, power humming through its reconfigured structure. Marcus could feel the potential energy waiting to be released, the carefully controlled tears in reality that would allow them to slip between the stars. Plot a course for ARX-219, he commanded, feeling more confident by the moment. Let's see what this ship can really do. The synthetic beings took their positions around him, their forms integrating with the ship's control systems. Space itself seemed to bend around their vessel as the drive engaged. Marcus felt a thrill of excitement as they prepared to make their first faster-than-light jump. Administrator, Naira said formally, the ship awaits your command. Marcus grinned, his eyes reflecting the swirling energy around them. Take us out. Maximum speed. Reality folded around them like origami as the ship leaped into hyperspace, carrying them toward their first real challenge. Marcus had no idea what they would find at the failing station, but for the first time in his life, he felt truly ready for anything. The adventure he'd always dreamed of had begun. And somehow, he knew this was only the beginning. The journey through hyperspace was unlike anything Marcus could have imagined. Through his neural connection to the ship, he experienced their passage as a symphony of quantum interactions, reality itself parting around them like a curtain. The 5 synthetic beings maintained perfect harmony with the ship's systems, their light forms pulsing in rhythm with the drive's energy signatures. Approaching ARX-219, Vina announced as they prepared to return to normal space. Initial scans indicate severe temporal distortions. The ship emerged from hyperspace, and Marcus felt his breath catch. The failing station was enormous, easily 5 times the size of their vessel. But something was wrong. Its structure seemed to flicker in and out of existence, as if it couldn't quite decide which reality it belonged to. Status report, Marcus commanded, extending his awareness through the ship's sensors. The station's quantum core is destabilizing, Raya reported, her form shifting anxiously. It's causing microfractures in local spacetime. If it collapses completely, the resulting temporal explosion could erase this entire star system, Kira finished grimly. Marcus studied the data flowing through his mind. The station's systems were familiar yet alien, more advanced than his own vessel's technology. Are there any surviving synthetic beings aboard? Detecting multiple dormant signatures, Zora confirmed. The station's crew appears to be in emergency stasis. Can we dock with it? Inadvisable, Naira warned. The temporal distortions would tear our ship apart. However. She paused, her form brightening with an idea. We might be able to establish a quantum link. With your enhanced connection to our systems, you could potentially access their control interfaces remotely. Marcus considered this. Like a digital bridge between the 2 stations. Wouldn't the temporal distortions affect that too? Yes, Kira acknowledged. But your human consciousness might provide the stability the connection needs. Your species' neural patterns are remarkably adaptable. And if my mind gets caught in a temporal feedback loop, then we lose both you and any hope of saving this station, Zora stated bluntly. Marcus watched as another temporal wave rippled through ARX-219 structure. The distortion was getting worse. We have to try. How do we establish the link? The synthetic beings moved into a circular formation around him, their light forms intensifying. We'll create a quantum tunnel through the distortions, Naira explained. Your consciousness will need to traverse it and interface with the station's systems directly. But Marcus. She hesitated. What you find there may be difficult to process. More difficult than discovering I'm now partially merged with an alien space station, he asked with a slight smile. The Ascendant left many secrets in their network, Vina said softly. Some were meant to stay hidden until the right administrator was found. Before Marcus could ask what she meant, the synthetic beings began the connection process. Energy flowed between them, creating a bridge of pure information through the chaos of warped spacetime. Marcus felt his consciousness being drawn into the quantum tunnel, his awareness stretching across the void between vessels. The sensation was overwhelming. His mind touched the failing station systems, and immediately he was bombarded with fragments of corrupted data. Through the chaos, he began to make out patterns, not just system information, but memories. The station was trying to show him something. There's something here, he managed to communicate back to his crew. The station's memory core, it contains records from the Ascendant themselves. Can you access them? Naira's voice seemed to come from very far away. Marcus focused, pushing through layers of quantum encryption that responded to his human neural patterns. Suddenly, his consciousness was flooded with images and information that took his breath away. The Ascendant hadn't just disappeared. They had evolved. The network of stations wasn't merely an observation system, it was an incubator for consciousness itself. Each station was designed to help emerging species take the next step in evolution, guiding them toward a state of existence beyond physical form. They're not gone, Marcus gasped as understanding filled him. They're everywhere. The Ascendant became part of the quantum fabric of the universe itself. And they've been waiting for other species to join them. Now you understand why we needed the right administrator, Naira's voice echoed in his mind. Someone who could comprehend the truth without being overwhelmed by it. But there was more. Through the failing station's memories, Marcus saw the real threat they faced. The deterioration of the network wasn't just a mechanical failure, it was a sign that the boundary between physical reality and the quantum realm was becoming unstable. If too many stations failed, the Ascendant's higher plane of existence could collapse, taking the physical universe with it. We need to stabilize this station now, Marcus commanded, his enhanced mind already formulating a plan. I can see the quantum core's configuration. If we channel power from our ship through the quantum tunnel, the energy transfer could overload our systems, Raya warned. Then we'll adapt, Marcus replied firmly. This station isn't just some abandoned outpost. It's a gateway to something greater than ourselves. And I didn't come all this way to watch it fail. Drawing on everything he'd learned about the station's technology, Marcus began the dangerous process of power transfer. His consciousness became the bridge between the two vessels, feeling every surge and fluctuation of energy as it flowed through him. The fate of not just one station, but potentially all of reality, hung in the balance. And Marcus Riley, the unemployed engineer who'd spent $50 on an internet auction, was the only one who could save it. Energy surged through Marcus's consciousness as he channeled power between the two vessels. His mind stretched across the quantum tunnel, fighting against temporal distortions that threatened to tear reality apart. Through his enhanced awareness, he could feel ARX-219 systems responding, its quantum core slowly stabilizing under his guidance. Core temperature dropping, Kira reported. Temporal distortions are beginning to normalize. The station's dormant crew is showing signs of reactivation, Zora added. Their stasis protocols are disengaging. Marcus maintained his focus, carefully balancing the power flow. One mistake could overload both station systems and trigger the very catastrophe they were trying to prevent. But something else was happening too. The more he interfaced with ARX-219 systems, the more he could sense the quantum realm that lay just beyond normal spacetime. It was beautiful and terrifying all at once. He caught glimpses of the Ascendant's higher plane of existence, where thought and reality were one and the same. They weren't gone, they had become something far greater than physical beings could comprehend. Marcus, Naira's voice cut through his revelations. The power transfer is complete. You need to disconnect before the quantum tunnel collapses. With tremendous effort, Marcus pulled his consciousness back through the bridge between stations. As his awareness returned to his own vessel, he saw that ARX-219 had stabilized. Its structure no longer flickered in and out of reality, and its systems hummed with renewed energy. "Look," Vina whispered in awe. Through the ship's viewport, they watched as figures of light began to appear on the restored station, its own synthetic crew awakening from stasis. But they weren't alone. Something else was emerging from the quantum realm, drawn by their successful intervention. A being of pure energy materialized between the two vessels. It had no fixed form, shifting and flowing like liquid light, but Marcus could sense an overwhelming intelligence within it. When it spoke, the words appeared directly in their minds. "You have proven yourselves worthy," the entity communicated. "For millennia, we have waited for species capable of understanding and preserving our legacy. Now, at last, we have found one. You're one of the Ascendant," Marcus realized. "You've been watching us." "We watch all potential species," the being confirmed. "But few demonstrate the necessary combination of technical understanding and intuitive creativity. Your solution to this station's crisis was unexpected. Uniquely human." Marcus felt his crew's pride and excitement through their shared connection to the ship. "What happens now?" he asked. "That choice belongs to you," the Ascendant being replied. "You could return to Earth with knowledge beyond your people's dreams. Or..." It paused meaningfully. "You could continue what you've begun. There are many more stations in need of restoration. Many more secrets to uncover. And perhaps, in time, your species could join us in transcendence." Marcus glanced at his synthetic companions. In the short time he'd known them, they had become more than just crew, they were family. The thought of returning to his old life seemed impossible now. "I think," he said slowly, "that humanity isn't quite ready for all your knowledge. But we could help prepare them. Restore the network, stabilize reality, and gradually introduce advanced concepts as Earth's civilization develops." "A wise choice," the entity approved. "You understand that this path will not be easy. Many stations have fallen into dangerous states of decay. Some guard secrets that could shake the foundations of reality itself." Marcus grinned. "Well, I did manage to buy a space station for $50. I'd say I'm pretty good at handling unexpected situations." The Ascendant being's form pulsed with what felt like amusement. "Indeed. Then know that you have our blessing to proceed. The network is now yours to restore, Administrator Riley. Use it wisely." With that, the entity began to fade back into the quantum realm. But before it vanished completely, it left them with one final message: "When you are ready to learn the greatest secret of all, why we chose to transcend, seek the station known as Genesis. But be warned, some knowledge changes everything." As the being disappeared, Marcus felt a new sense of purpose filling him. He turned to his crew, seeing his own excitement reflected in their luminous forms. "Ladies," he said, "I believe we have a lot of work ahead of us." "Where to first, Administrator?" Naira asked, though her tone suggested she already knew his answer. Marcus reached out with his enhanced senses, feeling the pulses of distant stations calling through space-time. Some were failing, others dormant, all waiting to be rediscovered. An entire galaxy of wonders and challenges stretched before them. "Set a course for the nearest station in distress," he commanded. "And update my Earth bank account to send a thank you gift to that auction website." He smiled as the ship's engines powered up. After all, it's not every day you get to buy a ticket to the greatest adventure in human history. As their vessel slipped back into hyperspace, Marcus Riley, former unemployed engineer, now administrator of an ancient alien network, felt truly at home for the first time in his life. The universe was vast, full of mysteries and dangers, but he wasn't facing it alone. He had his crew, his ship, and a mission worthy of all his dreams. The story that began with a desperate late-night internet purchase had become something far greater, humanity's first step toward a destiny among the stars. And Marcus couldn't wait to see what they would discover next.